Hello wrestling fans and welcome to another edition of MPW Express. I'm your host, Mud Puppet Joel. Now it's been some time since Title Turmoil, but the ramifications of that event are still reverberating throughout Metro Pro Wrestling. On that night, the ill-tempered Mark GJOKA did draw a familiar opponent out of the lottery. But as you'll soon find out, he also drew a very favorable stipulation.
And his opponents, hailing from San Francisco, California, here is Sweet Willie Watts!
You gotta love the moment there, Ryan. The dawning realization set in on Mark GJOKA, his opponent out of the lottery, an old nemesis, Sweet Willie Watts.
And Sweet Willie, for all his mind games and all his playing to the fans and such, is a very talented wrestler. Mark GJOKA cannot be happy about having to face Sweet Willie.
It was for weeks and even months. Mark GJOKA ran Sweet Willie Watts down on the PWL. Borderline hate speech.
Yes. Mark GJOKA is not afraid to speak his mind. That's one thing you got to give Mark GJOKA. He will say whatever he thinks, and Mark bailing out. He's not happy about this at all.
He was already psyched out.
Yeah, Sweet Willie, that's one thing he gets in his opponent's head, and he really used the psychological advantage against them. And Sweet Willie's got to be pumped here to get this title shot, Joel.
And you know we're going to find out the stipulation here. Willie backing into the corner. GJOKA on the outside.
It is a special guest referee.
Special guest referee for this matchup. Willie doesn't seem fazed by that announcement.
Not at all.
GJOKA, of course, complains about everything.
According to PWLWyandotte, the special guest referee is Jonathan Presley.
God, he's kidding me.
Oh, what an advantageous draw for Mark GJOKA. This worked out perfectly for the champion.
You know, Big Bubba Luscious has on occasion... Oh, he gets to bring Bryce Sullivan with him, too. That's fair. Bubba's been accused by myself, by a reporter, at various times, that this relationship he has, this business relationship he has with Jonathan Presley, is a clear conflict of interest. In fact, I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but
No.
I recently made my debut on the PWL.
I saw that.
And I brought it up once more, and when confronted with this question, Big Bubba Luscious wouldn't give me a clear yes or no. He said, and I quote, "Gotta take care of the sponsors."
Well, I mean, Big Bubba's a businessman, first and foremost, so... But really, I think you're going a little overboard with these allegations. And may I just say, as
Willie's waiting to be patted
tunes
down
up in the most disturbing way possible, may I just say that Jonathan Presley looks very professional in his referee getup. He looks ready to call this one down the middle.
Oh, Willie's showing Presley something.
Speaking of down the middle, yes.
Right down the middle, and Willie, I believe, is telling Presley, "Look, you want to call this match?"
They want to vilify me and cheer that garbage.
Mark GJOKA going off once more, not a proponent of, a supporter of equal rights. And Willie is saying, "I have a foreign object. You best check this." And he's right. He has a foreign object in his pants.
Yeah, that he does. You know, that microphone they need to sterilize that now. That's going to have to be put into some Purell, I think.
Hey, Jonathan Presley wants to play official. He needs to do his job and pull that microphone from the crack of Sweet Willie Watts.
Well, Jonathan Presley is a professional, and he will do that. I have no doubt. He's just getting himself psyched up to do so.
Psyched up. It looks like a lot of whining going on to me. Now, Willie...
Oh, he's putting it in.
Presley snatches it finally. Now maybe we can have a match here. GJOKA, all the talking he does, you would think this should be... He should make short work of Willie Watts. This should be over in 2 minutes, right?
Well, you know, I'm Sweet Willie giving him an opening.
Yeah.
Mark
Will
Joker.
Joker take the opening?
Oh!
Come on!
Oh my goodness.
Well, Presley didn't see that. A blatant low blow. It doesn't get more blatant than that. A pin, 1, 2. Okay, you got the ropes. And look, did you see the fast count there? My goodness, they have set this up from a screw job from the get-go.
You know what? When Willie grabbed the rope, though, he stopped the count. He did what he's supposed to do. Some referees have a faster count naturally, Joel. I mean, that just happens sometimes. As long as he's consistent with it, and we'll see, you know, if Willie gets a cover on Joker, we'll see how consistent he is.
Choke there on the ropes. And what is this? Why? Presley's giving him directions.
Hey, the referee has to call things in there. Has to let the guys know what, you know, to follow the rules. That's all he was doing. He was trying to keep him on track.
You know, if Mark Joker is such a great fighting champion, why is it that there has to be interference ran in every single one of his title defenses?
You know, the great champions, Joel, often will take advantage of anything that comes their way. And this was luck of the draw that Jonathan Presley got to be the referee. So,
as from the top, I don't believe it was luck of the draw. And from Big Bubba Luscious's own comments, it doesn't seem to be luck of the draw. He won't answer the question.
I think you're reading a lot into that, and I think you're making some allegations that are simply not proven.
Joker with fist to Watts from that second rope. I don't see how I'm making allegations that aren't unproven. The man has asked a yes or no question. There are 2 count. And he will not say yes or no. All he will say is, gotta take care of the sponsors. What does that tell you?
Who are you to walk on Big Bubba's set, on his show, and question his integrity? This man puts on these shows. He does what he has to do to make the big bucks. And you're out there trying to become part of the show.
Willie perhaps having a little fun with Joker there. Joker didn't like it. Pops him in the head, and he's complaining, of course, to the official. Look, I'll tell you what I was doing on that show. Bringing some accountability, some journalistic integrity to the show. As I said on the show, we have promoters on that show. We have wrestlers. The fans have no voice. I was there to be a voice of the people.
Yeah, these people, they need your voice, all right. Jeez, they make enough ruckus as it is. Look at them out there slapping the mat and getting in the way.
They paid their money. They're allowed to slap the mat and get in. Now Willie backing it up into Joker. You know Joker's just hating every second of this. Every fiber of his being is aching, and Willie makes sure he gets one nice and high up on him. And right now he's got the champ a little woozy. Puts him down to the mat. This could be it. Cover for the pin. What happened to the fast count there?
Oh, you know, Jonathan Presley, as great a condition as Presley is obviously in, I think he got a little bit winded there. He had a little bit of difficulty keeping up that count.
Jawbreaker there, and into the neck breaker. Joker swings the tide right back in his favor, and you must have a very, very loose interpretation of the term great shape or great condition. What was the phrase you used?
You've seen the kind of condition I'm in, so it's a sliding scale of acceptability, of course.
Joker picking Willie up off the mat now and looking to execute that pile driver, but Willie blocks. Joker goes for it again, and once again Willie blocks it. The Joker might be a little winded here.
Seems like it.
You know, Willie, what's he gonna do here? We saw the airplane spin a month or so ago. Flips him into the corner, right into Presley.
No.
Takes out the official, rolls him up. This should be 1, 2, 3.
The referee is down. He's hurt. You saw. Oh, another official coming into the ring.
Now, we've seen these sort of official mix-ups before at MPW, and they generally do not breed anything good.
No, they generally don't. Joker's trying to wake up Presley here. Sweet Willie, though, he's got him.
He sets him up. He hits his finisher. This could be it. The official's in the ring. 1, 2, and 3. Sweet Willie Watts is down to Mark Joker.
I cannot believe it. What a big win for Sweet Willie.
You have a new MCWA heavyweight champion. How long Sweet Willie Watts chased Mark Joker for that title? All the times Joker ran his mouth, speaking his hate, running down Sweet Willie Watts, and now the strap around his waist.
Wow, and it looks good with those.
Presley has taken the belt. Calling for a microphone, a big Bryce Sullivan in there to make sure Presley is protected, of course.
Of course.
What is going on here? Presley demanding a microphone. Sullivan getting in on the act, putting his 2 cents in. You see the confusion on Johnny Bad Wheels.
Winner by disqualification because you hit the referee on purpose. Mark.
He's disqualifying Sweet Willie Watts. Joker remains the champion. What a crock. Not without considerable controversy, Mark Joker retained the MCWA Heavyweight Championship. It would seem only fair that Sweet Willie Watts get a rematch in the near future. Perhaps next time it'll be officiated by an unbiased referee. But that wasn't the last we'd see of Jonathan Presley that night. He'd later lobby the SCUMDOGS into a Falls Count Anywhere match with MPW Tag Team Champions Marvelous Action. It was a decision that would prove to be fateful. Well, Ryan, of course, the much ballyhooed talked about match between the champions, Marvel and Jackson, and the SCUMDOGS, Creep and Paul Bowser. It is no secret, been some time now, that this was a match in which Creep would break his leg. And his leg, I saw the x-rays personally, and his bone almost splintered. And from what I know, had to have a plate inserted and metal screws. Luckily, he is healing. Of course, I had the benefit show, raised some money for his medical costs, but not a surprise that there was an injury coming out of this match. As you're going to see, fans, this is as wild a brawl as it gets.
Yeah, in all my time covering MPW, watching these matches, this is the wildest match I've ever seen, so it was not a shock that someone came out of this hurt. We send all our best, of course, to Creep. We hope he continues to recover.
Yeah, and you saw Jonathan Presley there, ever the one trying to get an advantage for his clients. He's crawling under the ring. I don't know what he was trying to get out there. Of course, slightly off kilter. Paul Bowser and Creep, and I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but lately Paul Bowser, ever since this occurred, this Creep injury, he's been a bit of a changed man. Now, Presley striking a match. This is some mind games he's playing with Marvel and Jackson.
Well, you know, seeing your partner suffer such a horrific injury is the kind of thing that can definitely change a man.
Mouse traps Creep has produced now.
Is,
tearing apart the ring.
Stairs. These guys are not quite right, that's for sure. But yeah, as far as Bowser changing, Joel, you know, as I said, a horrific injury to your partner like that, being there, seeing that, that's the kind of thing that can definitely have an impact on a guy's psyche. And someone who already has a bit of a demented psyche like Paul Bowser, it doesn't surprise me that it had such an effect on him.
Well, and it isn't, I don't think it's not just the injury. He was, of course, appeared on that same episode of the PWL with myself, and I'll tell you this, in the land of JP Investments, there's trouble in paradise.
There is some trouble, and it's worrisome to see a guy who has been such a loyal member of JP Investments bringing up such harsh accusations against Jonathan Presley.
Here we go now, the SCUMDOGS and Marvelous Action trading punches right out of the gate, and both Creep and Bowser thrown from the ring.
This is the kind of match, Joel, that you would think that Bowser and Creep would have a distinct advantage. Marvelous Action, these guys are more technical, as we see high-flying type guys.
Marvel caught there, but Jackson's going to come off the top for the assist.
Whoa,
Both of them down to the concrete.
My goodness, that was amazing. He smashed right into Creep's head. Brought everybody down.
Yeah, Marvel and Jackson, you know, making believers out of a lot of people. And I'll tell you, the Clan and JP Investments were none too pleased that these two guys, which they view, you know, as pipsqueaks,
Right.
put out Creep.
You know, there's a lot of people, Joel, that would maybe look at Marvelous Action and think, you know, these guys, they're not the biggest. They're not, you know...
Oh, a chair shot there. Paul Bowser to the back of Mike Marvel.
But what these guys maybe lack in size, they make up for with that technical expertise, and with, honestly, this match kind of opened my eyes a bit with a vicious streak with these guys that I was not sure that they had. Jonathan Presley, what is he doing?
Anemic chair shot. And he celebrates as if he's caused some damage.
I get it. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
You know, and I gotta say, as Presley fumbles for something, what does he have? More matches? What is he? And he just gets shoved out of the ring. What I was gonna say, I gotta say, Marvel being choked. I put a lot of the blame on Jonathan Presley. I don't think he has given Marvelous Action their due. I think he had his clients ill prepared for these two. Because I was like you. They had a mean streak that I didn't expect, but guess what? Is the manager of a stable, you don't have that luxury not to anticipate that. And Bowser just throws a chair wantonly into the head of Mike Marvel.
See Paul Bowser there. He is really limping on that leg. It looks like some serious damage is done. You know, Joel, you may be right, but Jonathan Presley getting some more shots in. I have to say this for Jonathan Presley. Just looking at the surface, you would look at this kind of match and think, this is a no-brainer for my guys. This is the kind of match they want. They're wild men. They like to get out there and just fight, not worry about the rules and tagging in and out and such.
Marvel into the wall. Took that one on his shoulder. Hey, I hear that point, and you know, so if you want to put the bulk of the blame on the Scumdogs, or say it was just, you know, unfortunate that there was an injury, who knows? Now Creep being pulled out from underneath the ring, and he brings a table with him, and Jackson puts the boots to him.
I was wondering if there would be someone else on the other side of that table and that train would continue as things would just be pulled from under the ring, but I guess not.
Now Bowser takes a seat and pops Marvel in the jaw. Now Marvel's going to give it right back to him, and the two are going to trade some blows here. Back and forth they go. Bowser with another one. Now Marvel comes back at him. Bowser again, and now he just unleashes a flurry of punches on Marvel and sends him to the mat.
Crumpling down, and now with the chair right in the small of the back.
And now street signs being pulled out here by Action Jackson.
These guys have all sorts of plunder they're using on each other. Action Jackson. You gotta remember, Joel, Action Jackson, part of the reason he's so fired up here is he was put in the hospital by the Scumdogs.
Very true.
He has a good reason, I would say, to be angry with these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Back in February, that this tag match was supposed to take place, albeit in a different capacity, and it never happened because the Scumdogs laid out Jackson prior to the show and put him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Now Creep marching to the front of the building now. What is going on here? The camera trying to follow the action. Bowser and Marvel have already made their way over there.
Yeah, I give the cameraman some credit. This is a tough one to keep up with.
Into the foosball table.
Wow. These guys all...
Bowser has an action figure. I don't know who that is. What drove it into his guts? I don't know how effective that's going to be. Maybe a bit of a nuisance. Oh, raking his eyes. Well, that'll be effective.
That'll do it. Stick an object in a guy's eye. That's for sure not going to feel good.
Marvel and Creep now back on the other side. Creep going to throw Marvel now into the ring post there. Shoulder first. Looks like he may have rung his bell a bit too.
That shoulder's taking a lot of damage. Yeah. That's the same one he was thrown into the wall earlier.
Creep looking to work over Marvel. Now he's urging these fans. Oh, he wants a chair. Screaming at these fans to get out of their seats. What is he planning here? It looks like, oh, what do we... A trash can was just thrown at Action Jackson. Trash all over the place
trash
now.
Everywhere.
Bowser wants to chuck it. Marvel reverses and Creep goes into the chairs.
Good.
Just moments before, fans were seated there.
This one is getting absolutely out of hand here. Look at the huge welts on the back of Mike Marvel there.
No doubt about it. This one totally just out of control now. Marvel hammering the back of Creep's neck, throwing a chair on top of him. And another one. And another one. And now Jackson getting in on the into the fray. Marvel and Jackson really taking it to the Scumdogs right now. Bowser and Marvel back into the ring. And Creep and Jackson on the outside, and Ryan. This, I believe, is when the injury occurred. And Creep going for the attempt here. Blocked by Jackson. Blocked once more by Jackson, and here it is, the fateful suplex on the concrete. Oh, and that's what resulted in the broken leg. Out of respect to Creep and his family, we are not going to show the immediate aftermath of his injury. We jump ahead now to the conclusion of the match. Oh, Marvel taking the trash can to Paul Bowser, and of course, Ryan, at this point, Creep had been carted off to the back. He was in, as you can imagine, considerable pain.
Yes.
There were plenty of expletives used.
Yes.
I cannot blame the man.
No.
And so obviously, now here, in a twist of irony, of course, it was Marvel who was on the receiving end of a 2-on-1 beatdown the last time these two teams met up.
Right.
And now with Creep's injury, it is Paul Bowser who was going to face the brunt of a 2-on-1 attack, and Marvel and Jackson hammering him down, and they look to put him through this table right here. Bowser blocking, and he, nope. Up he goes, and through the table. Marvel with the pin, 1, 2, and 3. That will do it. Well, Marvelous Action retains the MPW Tag Team Championship, and you gotta wonder now for the Scumdogs with the injury to Creep. And this was something I put to Paul Bowser on the PWL. What's the future hold for the Scumdogs? And right now, the answer is, who knows?
Yeah, it's up in the air until we find out when Creep will be able to come back, and also what Paul Bowser's new attitude will be.
How are things going to shake out in the House of Presley? Because right now, there are a lot of questions and few answers. But, see Bowser there, perhaps even sustaining a few minor injuries of his own in this one. All four of these guys really put through the ringer. Bowser, of course, doesn't usually inspire a whole lot of respect or concern from the officials, but an exception made in this case. But nonetheless, Mike Marvel and Action Jackson retain the MPW Tag Team Championship. Marvelous Action continues to earn the respect of the MPW locker room. However, for the time being, it remains to be seen who will next challenge them for those titles. Well, folks, that is all the time we have for today. We would like to wish Creep a speedy recovery. For MPW Express, I'm Mud Puppet Joel.